All right, it is Thursday here at Korean Prep. I can show you here. I'm going to take a little picture, show you. As I was saying, there I am rocking the Browns gear, sitting in the classroom. So anyways, we're going to do 6.2, which is mainly about photosynthesis. So when we look at this, we got to look at photosynthesis. Actually, how do we capture sunlight? And light is a form of radiant energy. So you may have heard of this radiant energy. Basically, it refers to the fact that, how it actually moves. That was kind of a physical science chemistry term. We're not going to get too much into that, but just do realize that light is a form of radiant energy. Other light that comes in the form of radio energy, we've got like radio waves, microwaves, X-rays, gamma rays, all types of radiant energy. So that's something you might want to put down in your notes. Light's radiant energy, and so is radio, microwave, X-rays, and gamma rays. And simply put, when we talk about a radio wave, it means it travels in waves, like so. Okay, and those waves are going to be what we're going to really talk about. When you actually look at a wave, so I'm going to kind of draw this up here real quick. So when you look at a wave, waves kind of go like this, just like on an ocean. If you had a wave ocean, these are horrible. Wow, my God. But there's the ocean. Let's see here. There's me surfing on it, which I never have done. I always fall when I surf, but that's me surfing on it. When you look at that, the distance between one wave crest, so they're right up here, you want to label on yours, label that the wave crest. Here's another one. It's the peak, the top of it. The distance between those two peaks is called the wavelength. So go ahead and write that down. Wavelength is this distance between here and here. So draw this diagram, distance between wavelength, that's a crest. This part here, those are troughs. Those are the bottom area. Okay? And so when we look at this, that's our basic wavelengths. White light that you see from the sun, from anything that's white, okay, is a mixture of wavelengths. So those wavelengths, like I just drew, between, for us, what we can actually perceive are about between 400, write this down, and 700 nanometers. That's the distance on the wave, 400 to 700. The colors that make up the visible light, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, that's the color spectrum, okay? Of these, the one that's kind of in this right here, this would be our red over here, and this is going to be our blues or our violets here in the 400. So blues over here, reds here working in between. This is where infrared is. UV is down here on this end. All right. Here's a good image of actually, you can look at the spectrums. Once again, here's in our 700 range right here. 700's over in this range. Okay, the 400's down in this way, and it moves in that direction, with these being the longer wavelengths. This picture didn't come up, but what it actually is a picture of here has to do with how we actually see chlorophyll. So I'm going to kind of show that to you now. The spectrum, we're going to look at this in a little bit more detail later. Here on this end is on the left side is of 400. There's your blues, red. Where the absorbent of chlorophyll is, it's not the whole spectrum. It's really at about that 420 range here and about 680 range there. Another diagram of chlorophyll, same thing. If you notice where what we're absorbing is here and here. Here's where we're reflecting. Now this reflection is in the yellows and greens. So what we reflect is what we see. So we actually see leaves that have chlorophyll is like a greenish yellow. Those two diagrams I just showed you do not need to draw. And so we get into this next concept, which is waves absorption. Any object color depends on the wavelength that it actually reflects. If you see something that is green back here, it's reflecting green. If you see something that is blue, it's reflecting blue, and so on. If my shirt is blue, it's because it's reflecting blue more than any other color of light. My Browns hat I showed you at the beginning reflects brown. If something is white, like this background here, it's because it's reflecting all colors of the spectrum, everywhere from the blues all the ways to the reds. In the back in this diagram again, the black back here, what it's doing is it's absorbing. That's why you don't wear black shirts during the summer, because it can get really hot. Have you ever been on blacktop? Really hot, absorbs the heat, gets to you, right? That's why you don't want to be on there. I literally had a pair of shoes almost melt on blacktop one time. When you look at that spectrum, once again, you had the blues here in the 400 range, okay? And you had the reds here. When we talk about UV, we can't detect that. It's less than that blue color. It's ultraviolet, ultra blue. It's below 400. And then on the 700 spectrum, infrared is up here. It's up here. Light energy we can change to chemical energy. And basically what we're going to look at in class and the next time is this term photosynthesis. Got to write that down. It's the process by which produces stored energy from sunlight. We're going to take sunlight and convert it into organic molecules. The one that we're going to mainly focus in on making is good old-fashioned glucose. Okay? And we're going to mainly do that into molecules of carbohydrates. We can then take a bunch of glucoses, link them together to make our starches. If you are able to carry out photosynthesis, okay, then you got to have the pigment in order that can do that. So, the pigment that's going to be able to do that is this one. It's called chlorophyll. And please, I know you're all saying it at home. Most likely one of the Kyles is saying this. Chlorophyll, more like borophyll, right? To quote Billy Madison. But chlorophyll, it's the important pigment that is going to reflect green, okay? And it's very important in photosynthesis. So when you think photosynthesis, you better be thinking about chlorophyll. What is chlorophyll? So if it's so important, we better know a little bit about it. There are several types of chlorophyll, but the ones that are going to be most important, I'm going to type here for you. So you got chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. Of these, when you actually look at them, the most important one is this chlorophyll A. Okay, that's the most important one. Not that chlorophyll B is not, but this is the number one responsible for photosynthesis. In prokaryotes, so bacteria, they're going to have chlorophyll, but they don't have an organelle for it. They don't have the organelle. And so therefore, it's going to be attached to the membranes. In bacteria, their chlorophyll is going to be attached to the membranes in the cytoplasm. Okay, so that's going to be attached there. In eukaryotes, in plants, they're going to have a special organelle. Now, the reason why chlorophyll appears green, it's because it reflects, once again, green and yellow. And it absorbs, the colors it absorbs, the ones that we're actually going to get the energy for, red and blue. Around the wavelengths of red are around 680. Apologize if you can't read that. 680 nanometers and 420. I'm going to insert an image that's going to show this a little bit better. So once again, here's chlorophyll A. You notice the first absorption that I told you was around 420, which is right about there. And the other place is about 680 right here. That's where it's going to absorb. Now think about this. When you look at grow lights, what color are grow lights? Okay, no, that's not correct. They're purple. They're purple. And how do you make purple? Well, it's a little blue with a little red. You combine it and you get that. The grow lights that you see, they're smart. We don't need this light. It's wasted. The only thing it's going to actually use are those reds and blues. This is the reflection, and therefore that's why leaves appear in the spectrum when the chlorophyll is present. Now, people will raise their hand and go, what about fall? We'll talk about fall. So besides that chlorophyll, there are some other pigments found in a leaf. Okay, so you got plastids. Remember, those are the storage containers that also have this pigment that are yellow, orange, and red. Those are the carotenoids. What is a thing that is high in carotenoids? Well, carrot, right? The carrot. What color is a carrot? It's orange, because it has these pigments. Anytime you see a plant, a flower, a fruit that is this color, it's because of these carotenoids. Okay, and they're accessory pigments. Accessory pigments mean that they are going to assist with the process. Okay, their job is to absorb, because that's wasted energy if we can only absorb in the blues and the red. So their job, these accessory, are going to help absorb blue and some green. Okay, and green. The chlorophyll and the carotenoids, they interact to maximize light energy that can be absorbed. They maximize. Carotenoids are found in fruits, they're in vegetables, they're in flour. What makes a rose rose? You got it, the red pigment of a carotenoid. They're also found in leaves. Now, if you look at the leaf in the background here, you say, well, Mr. Fyfe, that doesn't look orange or red at all. The reason that is, the carotenoids, and I'm going to type this up, so carotenoids are in leaves. but they are masked by the green color of chlorophyll. So they're always present. They're just masked because there's more chlorophyll. But one time a year, the chlorophyll starts to leave them. What the plant does, it's smart. Chlorophyll is really expensive. It costs a lot to the plant. So it'll actually leave the leaf, enter back into the tree where it'll be stored during the winter, because we're not going to do a lot of photosynthesis during the winter. When it does that, it leaves behind the carotenoids. And what color are the carotenoids? Yellow, orange, red. So in the fall when the leaves change, it's not that the leaves are changing, but it's actually that the leaves lose chlorophyll. If you guys are looking, let's say girls always like smart guys, take them on a date, you overlook a valley of all these changing trees, and you say, hey, honey, see what's actually happening are the leaves aren't changing. It's just that the chlorophyll is being drained from the trees, leaving behind the carotenoids that are red, orange, and yellow. Should be yours for life, boys, okay? Drop a little knowledge, never hurts, okay? In autumn, the chloroplast production halts. We stop doing it. The presence of the carotenoids is no longer going to be there, or the chlorophyll is no longer going to be there or needed. The carotenoids are seen. And that's what gives us this beautiful color. It's the carotenoids. In class, we're going to do a lab that actually we're going to look at the carotenoids and then see what they absorb, okay? All right, last slide. We look at photosynthesis. This is where we're going to pick up in class. There's a simple formula that you need to know in order for us to kind of come prepared. Photosynthesis is the conversion of carbon dioxide and water into glucose, C6H12O6, and oxygen. So before you leave, make sure before you write down this formula on your notes. Along with the other notes you should have, write this down. So here's the formula. Water, 6 waters, plus 6 carbon dioxide, plus radiant energy in the form of sunlight. Now here we need a lot of other stuff, right? We need enzymes, and on this line right here, I would write that you need to have enzymes. What else do you need? You need chlorophyll, okay? So you need those there too. That's what I'd write there. Right there, put enzymes, I don't have enough space, and chlorophyll, and what you're going to get is glucose and oxygen, C6H12O6. So make sure you have that somewhere in your notes. Now, along with that, you have the formula, you need to have the notes, okay? I want you to take a look at and come up with one possible multiple choice question from the video that I just gave that you could ask in class. So on the bottom of the note packet you took while you're writing, think of one multiple choice, bring it into class. I'm done, and so is this. I'm out. I changed my mind. I'm back. Don't get a tattoo like this. It's not going to help you on the test.